Good morning, folks. So, insofar as revisits are concerned, I'm revisiting the Proton Saga, the new enhanced Proton Saga. Okay, so what am I going to say about this car? Okay, very interesting. For one thing, it's a direct competitor to a entry-level car that I reviewed or revisited recently. Do you remember the Credo Bezza? You can go and have a look at it down there, the white one. These are cars that you buy, they are not aspirational cars. These are not cars you buy, you aspire to buy. No, these are cars that you would buy to get around, to commute, to get to work, and maybe once in a while get to somewhere near town, not somewhere out of town, because let's face it, these are entry-level cars. Now, that being said, one thing I've got to make very, very clear. How should I put it? The actual level of entry-level cars has grown exponentially in the last few years. Because, do you remember how entry-level Protons were in the past? If you don't, then you need to buy a used Proton LMST or LMSS, one of those, and drive it around a little bit, because the differences now are chalk and cheese. Absolutely unbelievable. The game has moved not just to another ballpark, it's moved to another ballpark in another country. That's how far the level of entry-level cars has increased over the years. Because think about it this way, yeah? The NVH in this car, despite the fact that I'm running on those tires which aren't that great for this car, so if you ever buy this car, please go change the tires real quick. All I'm hearing now is tire noise. NVH in an entry-level car, less than 50,000 ringgit. Wow. Really? Wow. It's absolutely unbelievable. I can't begin to explain how different it is compared to a previous entry-level Proton. They've really moved the ballpark to a different country. This car feels very, very good insofar as an entry-level car is concerned. They've gone back to a 4-speed automatic transmission, torque converter auto, thanks to Hyundai, who are actually using it in their Picanto, and it's so much better than the Punch CVT that they were using earlier. Pretty hard acceleration, 1.3 litre engine, very cheap road tax, and all that you're hearing, that's tire noise. This is a very, very good car. So think about it this way, yeah? If you're looking for an entry-level car, something just to commute, maybe you've already got something nice at home that you use on weekends, you just want something to commute and to get to work to and from, you need to have a look at this car. If you don't want to buy a used car, now don't forget, for about 40,000 ringgit, circa 45,000 ringgit, you can get a lot of good used cars out there, a lot. But those are cash buys. This you can get a higher purchase loan for, and it's negligible. So if you want to leave your Mercedes at home, or you want to leave your BMW at home and just use this to commute, that would be a very good idea to have, actually. And it's really nice. I'm going to show you in a little while. I have to admit though, insofar as interface is concerned, insofar as the design elements are concerned, insofar as the materials used to make up the components of this car are concerned, it could be a little bit better, but you still have to rewind and remember that this is an entry-level car, okay? It's supposed to be cheap, it's supposed to be easy to maintain, it's supposed to be passable in terms of looks and design and quality, but it has already exceeded that, all right? No doubt, okay, there's still a lot of plastic here and there, but they've done a trick that they've been trying to do for the longest time, and that's make a cheap car not look and feel cheap. So, as far as that is concerned, Proton have done a very, very good job with this Saga, really. In terms of design, there could be a little bit more aesthetic appeal put in, okay? Very inexpensive. Remember, they got to keep the costs down, okay? Because this is an entry-level car. It is targeted for people who don't have a huge salary every month. They could have done a little bit better. I have to admit, they could have done a little bit better. A couple of inserts here and there. And don't forget, this is the top of the line. But they've spent all the budget for upgrading the cabin of the car on one particular thing, which I'm going to show you in a little while. And that one particular thing, not necessary. Really, not necessary. I don't know why they put it in. This is an entry-level car. It's an entry-level spec car. So if you can enhance the overall interior, the overall ambience, the overall living space, enhance that instead of spending all your money on just one piece, I think that would be better. Now, that's just my personal opinion. Some of you might absolutely love this and be like, wow, I'm so glad I've got this in my entry-level car. And yeah, that's a good thing. You know, you need to be proud of the car that you own. But to me, I think they could have used a little bit more finesse in doing this, because it was like almost an afterthought. It was like, you know, hey, you know, let's do something slightly better. Let's give this car something slightly better, and boom, let's do this instead. When they could have actually given it a bit more thought. And I'll show you exactly what I mean in just a sec. Right, so here we are back in the Saga, and the instrumentation, very clear, very easy to read. They've actually increased the size of that panel over there, so you can actually see a little bit more. It used to be tiny, so it's now slightly bigger. But this is what I meant about the afterthought. Now, this is a screen. Yes, it's a touch screen, but it's so misplaced, for want of a better expression. Look how far it sticks out from the back. Okay, look how close it is to this signal stalk. So inadvertently, you might actually turn it off when you're trying to reach the signal stalk, okay? Which is exactly what I'm going to try and do now. Yeah, so okay, I've turned off the volume. So they've gone with textured seats, which is really nice, but then again, they've only done this black upon black. And that's the only non-black item on that door. Again, black, everywhere black, even here, very black. I've got nothing against black, but there's too much black in this car. Okay, they could have easily changed the color of this to, I don't know, maybe copper, something a bit different. But as far as the interior is concerned, while the NVH is fantastic, it's still a bit too bland. Now, see, you've got copper here, you've got copper, well, sort of gunmetal grey inserts here, and here as well, but then it doesn't carry on here, only here. So they could have given a little bit more thought to how they set up this car, and it would have just, you know, benefited because let's face it, when you're driving, you can't see what the car looks like from the outside, and this car drives very well. And that's the thing, and I love the new gearbox. Oh my goodness, this torque converter gearbox, it's so much better with the sport mode and everything. Yeah, no kidding, look, there's an S there. So let me show you this car from the outside, and you'll see what I mean about it being a very capable and very nice car. Okay, so give me a second here. Right, so there you go. The latest generation Proton Saga. Now, Proton has started off with the Saga back in 1985. The Saga is the longest running model that they've currently got, and something tells me it's going to be around for a very long time. And you know what? It's a logical progression of, as far as car design is concerned. It's a very nice looking car. I've always liked the design of this new Saga, actually. Check it out. They've even got the rear diffuser things. Okay, those are fake exhaust tips, but never mind, it's alright. Little vents on the side there. So body colored door handles, indicator lights on the wing mirrors. And so now, yeah, the engine is running. It's very decently quiet. I'll show it to you in a sec. Cheap and cheerful. And what do I mean by cheap? Check that out. 140 ringgit. Company registration. So half that for personal registration. So as far as a daily commuter is concerned, a fuss-free, easy to maintain, easy to drive, easy to commute in, cheap to maintain, cheap to run, it doesn't really get any better than a Proton Saga. So, you know, biasness aside, this is a very capable car. So there you go. 1.3 litre fuel injected VVT engine. Very smooth. More than enough grunt for normal daily use. It's even got a strut bar, so you don't have to spend money on an aftermarket strut bar in front, strut brace or whatever you want to call it. LED daytime running lights. This new infinite weave grille and the ethereal bow right down there. That's the new design, the new face of Proton. So, yep, it transcends in all their models these days, and this one is one of the really good ones, really. Cheap and cheerful. How else can you put it? So yeah, no doubt its competitor, the Bezza, which I tested recently, is just by casual observation seems to be the more popular car. But you really need to give this car a second look. The first thing you need to do though is change those tires. They really totally let down the car. You see, now the thing is, these tires might have been okay in a first generation Saga because you didn't have the kind of luxury and performance in an entry-level car back then, but they just don't cut it anymore for this car, for this new Saga. Right, so in closing, I just want to say one thing. A lot of people ask me which one I would take, which one I would buy, which one I would go for if I was going to buy one. Well, first of all, I wouldn't buy one. Okay, as you know, I'm very much into the used car market. I don't like buying new cars. I don't like having higher purchase loans. I think that's the main reason why I don't like buying a new car. I don't want to have a higher purchase loan, you know, paying every month for something that I might use maybe twice or 3 times a week. So that just doesn't make sense to me. Then again, unlike you, I don't use my cars every day. You do. So you want something that's fuss-free, that's not gonna give you the bengkel life, as they say. Definitely, if you want to buy a new car, by all means buy a new car. I'm not saying don't, okay? Don't get me wrong on that. So, but if you were to ask me to choose, like if you know there are 2 that are available and they're free of charge, and I was supposed to choose one, which would I choose? Would I choose a Bezza or would I choose a Saga? After giving it much thought, I would definitely choose the Saga. You know why? Because it feels better, it drives better, it doesn't feel like, you know, I'm unsafe or anything like that. I'm not saying the Bezza is a bad car. I'm just saying personal preference. I would take the Saga because in terms of ride and handling, you cannot beat a Proton insofar as that is concerned. What they learned from Lotus when they owned Lotus, or when they had the Lotus ride and handling in some of their cars, they learned a lot. And every single car since then, the ride and handling department or the R&D department has had a little bit of say, or rather a lot of say, pumping in that kind of Lotus mentality, Lotus ride and handling into their cars. It is evident in this car as well. It's comfortable, it has good handling, and it just feels nicer to drive. I don't know how else to put it. It just feels like a nicer drive. Not saying the Bezza is a lousy car to drive, but I know you're going to ask me that question. If I had a choice between a Bezza and a Saga, which would I take? I would take the Saga. So there you go. It just feels better. I just wish they had done a little bit better on the inside, you know. I don't mind the plastics because they don't feel or look cheap, but enhance it a little bit, you know, put in some inserts. Like, for example, these door handles over here. I'll show them to you in a sec. Just give me a second, okay? These door handles over here, right? Look at this, look at this, look at this. Okay, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4-piece thing, but all pretty much the same color except this. Why couldn't they have changed this insert to something else? Simple stuff like that could have been done as an afterthought. But instead, sorry, that's my hand again. But instead, they chose to put in this touch screen, and I don't need this touch screen. See? It's like in the new Corolla, it's just so in your face. It's not retractable, it's stuck there. Really don't need it. See, that's me. I don't need it, but maybe you might love it. So, hey, majority rules, right? So why not? So yes, bottom line, if you're looking for a daily runner, something cheap, cheerful, reliable, fuss-free, PPG, put petrol and go, check out the Saga. Take a test drive. You will not forgive yourself if you don't, really. You won't believe how good the Saga has actually become until you drive it. Yes, there's a lot of stigma out there. There's a lot of bias out there against Proton in general for whatever reason. But don't forget, Proton is a car company. Okay, they make cars, they build cars. And they've done a very good job with this one. I like it a lot. Like I said, I just wish they had given a bit more thought to this interior. But you know, hey, all is forgiven because NVH is good, it's comfortable, it's nice to drive. And as far as a daily commuter is concerned, you really need to check this out. Yeah, nice one, Proton. Okay, gotta go. Stuff to do. Take care, y'all. See you soon. Bye-bye.